In tonight's episode of the Keratin Brotherhood Podcast, this is one of the reasons why I stopped making hair loss content. Because everybody and their fucking mom was putting out a video about how to derma roll. They just regurgitated what other people were saying with zero research on their own. You know, taking finasteride. People like, just take finasteride. There's no side effects. Or don't take finasteride. It's going to give you side effects. The polarization of everything related to hair loss is what's dominating the space right now. But there are some bad actors in the hair loss space. It's become like bro science. Trust me, bro. This is the thing, and it's all about the personality behind what the fuck they're saying, followed by a sponsorship. Hey, you're listening to the Keratin Brotherhood Podcast with me, your host, DJ Dykes. Keratin Brotherhood is here to help men become better husbands, fathers, and friends through positivity, empathy, and transparency. Hey guys, it's DJ from Keratin Brotherhood. Welcome back to the channel. In the world of social media and content creators and influencers and all of this nonsense, I started on YouTube, before influencers really became a thing. There were a few people who were influential, but before the title of influencer became a thing, I felt like YouTube was a better place in the sense that, people you see on YouTube, they're just kind of sharing their lives. A lot of people vlogged. A lot of people just sat in front of the camera, did talking head videos and talked openly. I love that. I love the transparency. Most of the content creators that I follow them because I get the sense that they are being transparent. They're not putting on a shtick. They're not trying to sell me some product under the guise of trust me, bro. Like, they're just themselves. And that's not to say that they don't do sponsorships. I don't give a fuck if you do sponsorships, guys. Do what you do. I'm going to do sponsorships. I need to support my family. But, if you're trying to push a product that you don't really believe in, just because they're paying you for it, that's not being very transparent. When I started on YouTube, I didn't have to worry about that. People just talked. And if you weren't there in 2018 when I first started putting out my finasteride update videos, besides Hairliciously and Matt Dominance, there was really nobody talking about finasteride. It was one of those things where fighting your hair loss was in the bathroom by yourself. It was such a private affair, And I think that I'm one of the first people on YouTube to openly talk about their hair loss in the way that I did. 100%, not hiding it, not covering it up, not trying to, fake the funk. 100%, guys. I'm bald as fuck. I had a hair transplant. I'm taking finasteride. This is my first month, second month, third month. I was the very first person to do it because I felt like it was important. I looked for a person like that when I first started thinking about taking finasteride. Let me search on YouTube for finasteride. Of course, Hairliciously popped up, and he has great content. And nothing against Hairliciously. He and I have talked several times, and we talked about making content together and never really panned out. He's a great guy. What I'm saying, though, is the finasteride update video was not a thing. I made it a thing. And now it's 2023, and you search for finasteride update, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of finasteride update videos. This is really good because it means that society's view of fighting your hair loss is changing, has changed. Whereas before it was a very private affair, now it's turned into this thing where talking about it empowers men, and seeing other men talk about it openly empowers you to maybe take the step towards taking finasteride to fight your own hair loss. The issue that I have with all of this change in the hair loss space is the rise of the hair loss influencer. This is one of the reasons why I stopped making hair loss content. Because everybody and their fucking mom was putting out a video about how to derma roll. They just regurgitated what other people were saying with zero research on their own. Taking finasteride. People like, just take finasteride. There's no side effects. Or don't take finasteride. It's going to give you side effects. The polarization of everything related to hair loss is what's dominating the space right now. It's unfortunate because when there were just a small group of people talking about fighting hair loss, while you had a limited number of opinions, most of us kind of understood the importance of providing real information to the best of our ability. Hairliciously is a perfect example of this. All of the things he talks about is research-based. Everything. And he's one of the top channels when it comes to updating you guys on what the new changes are in the hair loss industry. And then it started to grow. People began to see that finasteride update videos got a lot of views. right? They really do, honestly. I don't know about now, but when I first started, they weren't getting a lot of views, and then people really began to watch them, and they got a lot of views. But now everybody's making a video about hair loss stuff just for the views. That's the thing. It's for the views, man. It's for the subscribers. It's to grow a channel. To me, that's disingenuous, especially if there's a sponsorship in the hair loss video. This is a paid sponsorship by fucking, I don't know, Hims. Or this video is sponsored by Jenny's Derma Rollers or some shit like that. Again, I don't mind sponsorships. I will be putting sponsorships in my podcasts. But if you guys have noticed, I have almost never, ever done a sponsorship on any hair loss video. I've done partnerships. There's an SMP clinic, Ian Dennis out of Houston, Texas. He and I have talked on a one-on-one basis. So I gave him a platform to talk about SMP to provide information. Even the BioEqua Enercharger, they paid me for one video. And that was the video to talk about the product because I was genuinely interested in it. Guys, the hair loss niche has become messy. It's become super, super fucking messy. There are a few beacons of shining light, what's his name? Tillman. He's got a great channel. Hairliciously continues to provide great content. Even Bald Cafe. I mean, his views on hair loss are completely polarizing of ours, but he generally doesn't provide a lot of false information. But there are some bad actors in the hair loss space. I'm not going to name names, but it's gotten to the point now where it's like, really, guys? What the fuck, man? You guys are subscribing to this shit? It's become like bro science. Trust me, bro. This is the thing, and it's all about the personality behind what the fuck they're saying, followed by a sponsorship. Seeing all of that overshadowing the real information from channels like The Hair Loss Show, Dr. Jaya Prakash on The Hair Loss Show. And that's another thing, too. Like, even doctors are jumping on this fucking hair loss train because they know hair loss is a hot topic. And they know that if they can funnel people from their hair loss channel to their clinic, it'll put money in their pocket. It's become a big money grab. It's become the biggest fucking money grab on YouTube, in my opinion, in terms of preying on a person's insecurity. That's when I knew I had to take a step away from hair loss because it goes against everything that my channel stands on. Positivity, empathy, and in this context, most importantly, transparency. And it sucks because there's a lot of young guys that there will always be new guys having their hair fall out. And they're going to come straight to YouTube and they're going to search for stuff. If I was losing my hair today and had to go to YouTube to search for content, oh man, I'd be frustrated as hell, man. So this is one of the reasons why I had to stop making hair loss content and take a step back. Take a step back, look at the big picture. Look at what you guys are leaving on comments. Look at what people are talking about in their videos related to hair loss and seeing how I can kind of come around the other side and provide value that pierces through all the fucking bullshit. And I want to do it in a way that I can provide the most value while staying true to myself and talking about the things that I believe in. My vision for this Keratin Brotherhood podcast is to continue the brotherhood, continue the community. And I'm a father now. Fatherhood is a big part of my life. And not just fatherhood, but being a great father. I want to be remembered by my daughter as one of the greatest fathers. And it's not easy. Being a father is not easy. Being a husband is not easy. So there will be content related to being a great husband. Being honest, like less than an hour ago, my wife and I got into an argument over laundry. Marriage is hard, man. It really fucking is. And I'm learning every day. She's learning every day. And we have the added factor of being an international couple. My wife is Korean. I'm in Korea right now. I live in South Korea. She's Korean, not American, so we have differing views on a lot of things. So, I want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about just being a good person, just my own experiences. I'm not trying to teach you guys anything. I just want to be a guy who talks about what he's learned, what I'm learning, the mistakes I've made, the landmines I've stepped on, and hopefully you guys glean some value from it. I'll be honest with you guys, with the Keratin Brotherhood YouTube channel, I had a business email address. And oh my God, it was inundated with people reaching out for like paid videos, sponsorships, partnerships. It was tiring, man. I just got to the point where I stopped checking the fucking email address because it was just too many of them, like for shit that wasn't even related to the channel. And like I said, I will only talk about things that I believe in. So for this podcast, don't be surprised to see sponsorships, guys. But understand that if I do put something in the video, it's something that I either have tried myself or I feel confident that I would try it myself. I'm really excited to have you guys along for this journey, the evolution of Keratin Brotherhood, now the podcast. And this is episode 1. My name is DJ from Keratin Brotherhood. I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good night. Coming up in the next episode of the Keratin Brotherhood Podcast, but I don't think it was me imagining it. And the reason why I say that is because I'm an adult now. Like I said, I'm 39, he's 64. If we were talking about something that he was interested in, he would always bring it back to his experience. And basically his story dominates, or his experience dominates the conversation. But I know a 3-year-old thinks the world of their dad, especially a girl. Their dad is everything, So I know the little girl thinks the world of you, and yet you just treat her like a nuisance, Thanks for listening to the Keratin Brotherhood Podcast with me, your host, DJ Dykes. Keratin Brotherhood is here to help men become better husbands, fathers, and friends through positivity, empathy, and transparency. If you enjoyed the podcast, consider subscribing or following on whatever platform you're on. And be sure to turn on notifications. That way you'll know each time a new episode is dropped.